I know I wasn't the only one who saw the trailer to this movie and didn't just think, oh god, please don't let this be a rom-com. Please don't let this be a rom-com. So I saw The Intern yesterday, and it was a fun little movie. I really like movies like this. I like how it was set up like a rom-com, but immediately they just negate that as a possibility. Robert De Niro is way too old for Anne Hathaway, and they know that. They don't try to force that situation, and I'm really happy they did that. It would have felt really weird had they done it, and like I said before, it's set up like a rom-com, so I was really worried for a second there, but it's all good. It's not a rom com. It's just a friendship, and they emphasize that, and I love that. The actors in the movie did amazing. I loved Anne Hathaway. I loved Robert De Niro. I loved all the side characters. Adam Devine is in this. He's hilarious in this movie. Robert De Niro is one of those rare actors who's just a real treasure because he could be anything. There are so many actors nowadays that just get immediately typecasted, and it's understandable because they're just better at roles like that. But Robert De Niro, he could be anything. He could be a super serious mobster character, like in any movie where he's a mobster, of which there's a lot of them. But he could also be a silly character, like in Meet the Fockers, where he plays the super serious dad who doesn't like the future son-in-law and so on and so forth. And he could also be charming characters, like he was in this movie. He was just so lovable right off the bat. I just loved his character so much. I There was not a single moment where I did not love this guy. And yeah, he's a bit of a Gary Sue, but that's not a bad thing. Gary Sues are Gary Sues because they're likable, and that's why I liked him. It's as simple as that. The movie is about 2 hours long, which felt a bit too long. It really did. There were a lot of little side arcs, and I don't think it's that big a deal though, because if there were side arcs, they didn't really add anything to the movie. They weren't really entertaining. I would be upset, but some of them added to the movie and others were entertaining, so it wasn't that big a deal that it was this long a movie because they kept it entertaining the entire way through. There were a couple that were just like, why was this even? It's not funny, it's not helpful, it's just kind of there, but not too much that it really ruined the movie. It was still a fun movie. The comedy was excellent. I was laughing consistently this entire movie, except when I wasn't supposed to be laughing, and when I wasn't supposed to be laughing, it was usually an emotional moment that I really felt invested in, and I'm not an emotional guy. So if I feel invested in an emotional thing, that probably means it was well written. It really does. Like I said before, the characters in the movie are really likable and decently acted, but there were times where it felt like their relationship was kind of rushed because they were trying to make it seem like Robert De Niro is a super charming, nice old father-like figure to Anne Hathaway, and Anne Hathaway, who has troubles trusting people, has to kind of form a bond with him, and they did that. They did a decent job of making that bond form in a realistic way. They showed a bunch of separate situations that built up into the trust that they eventually had by the end of the movie, but some of those situations were like instantly. It really felt like they were like, here, look at this, look, evidence, look at all of it, look at it. And I know exactly why they did that. I do. They didn't want to be like every other movie where they only have 2 hours to show an entire trust building relationship formed, which a lot of movies they just kind of skip over. Like, trust us, things happen and now they're best friends. They wanted to show you that they didn't just meet and suddenly they were best friends. They wanted to show that there were steps built leading up to that friendship. And they did that successfully. I like that they actually took the time to show that. But like I said, there was so much to jam into 2 hours that some of it did feel a bit rushed. And it was a bit lackluster. But I still, again, like I said, I still felt emotionally involved and entertained when I was supposed to, respectively. I also liked how Robert De Niro, even though I called him a Gary Sue character, he wasn't just this perfect, godlike essence. He had his own issues of just like Anne Hathaway's characters did, although Robert De Niro's weren't even remotely close to what Anne Hathaway's issues were. Hers were much more serious. He did have his own issues. He was worried about how old he was getting. He felt lonely after his wife had died years ago. He felt empty. That emptiness was slowly filled up by his work as an intern at Anne Hathaway's company, and it really felt nice that he just wasn't some fairy godfather Fran Hathaway. And that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. It was a nice little movie. It had a lot of issues it could have fixed and it would have been a lot better, but Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway did great. They had an amazing chemistry that nobody saw coming. I know I didn't, at least. Um, and I honestly thought it was worth the money I spent on the ticket. I had a really good time watching it. I'm glad I saw it. And if you like movies like this where it's just a friendship building thing and not a rom-com like it seems like it could have been, then you'll probably like this movie too. And it's as simple as that. Peace out.